Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tams and I create content that encourages a well-lived creative life. And part of that life includes reading, lots of reading and collecting books. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I am intentionally curating a certain type of book here for my home library. And for the past couple of months, I have shared with you each month what I have brought into the library and what I'm reading. So let's get started. I have a small collection for November. And the reason for that is because in December, I typically ask for books as ideas for gifts for the holidays. So I know or have a hunch that I'm going to be receiving some nice new books for Christmas. And the other reason is we actually have a brand new Barnes & Noble here in Lakeland, Florida. It just opened this weekend. I'm going to pop a few clips in for you because we haven't had a Barnes & Noble here for almost 20 years. There was one here when I first moved here and then it closed. And we now have a new one. And I did want to go for opening weekend because I love to support any bookstore that we have here in the community. And it just so happens that the new Barnes & Noble is less than a mile from my house. So I knew a lot of my budget would be put toward possibly a new book at that bookstore. So I do have 2 new books and I have 2 used books. So let's get started with the used books. Okay, for my Inkling shelf, I think you guys know I have a couple of the books from the Chronicles of Narnia, but a friend of mine found it's the entire collection of all the books from the Chronicles of Narnia in one volume. And I actually love this. This is beautiful. Is that not pretty? So I'm happy to add this to my collection of Narnia books because I do like to have a nice copy of the stories. Okay, the second used book that I found is part of a collection. I don't have anything by this author, but I've wanted to collect his books, and that is the author James Herriot. Many of you may know him. He wrote the books All Creatures Great and Small, and I have been watching that TV series on PBS all this year. I have caught up on every single season, every single episode, and I'm looking forward for the new episodes that, from what I understand, are already out. And James Herriot actually wrote quite a few books about the English countryside and his life as a veterinarian. And he's written several, and this one is called Every Living Thing. And I believe he's got, let's see, let me just double check. So he has written, in addition to All Creatures, he has written All Things Bright and Beautiful, All Things Wise and Wonderful, The Lord God Made Them All, Every Living Thing. So this is the last one in that series. I've heard nothing but good things for many, many years about the writings of James Herriot. So I'm happy to add this to my collection. So I picked this up for $6 at the used bookstore. And I love that it's a hardback. I am trying to find hardbacks when I can. All right, so at the new Barnes & Noble, I'm pretty picky about spending a lot of money on a new book. So I was happy to find that they had a sale going on their children's classics, which I love because I am trying to replace some of my beat up old copies of children's classics, replace them with nicer, prettier volumes when I can. So if you're interested, I am not associated with Barnes & Nobles at all, but right now they do have a sale going on. In the children's classics, if you buy one, you get the second one half off. And the price of these is it's only $15. So I purchased The Wind in the Willows, I'll tell you why in a minute, and also a copy of The Secret Garden. So these are really nice. They're the gold line, they're hardback. They have beautiful end papers. So I picked up 2 of these, and these would make great gifts. So that's one reason to maybe take a look at those. The reason I got The Wind in the Willows is I collect different versions of The Wind in the Willows. It's one of my favorite all-time ever books. I always recommend it to people. And I have several versions with different illustrators. So I'm interested in having versions of different illustrators. And so I do not have a copy of, these are illustrated by Nancy Barnhart. So I didn't have any of those, and I absolutely love it. So I've flipped through, and there's just some really cool illustrations, both in color, okay? And then there's also like some black and white sketches in here, in addition to the color version. So here's an example of the black and white sketch. Really cute book. I think a good deal for $15. I also picked up The Secret Garden, the gold foil pages. And what I like about this is it was actually illustrated by Charles Robinson. So this is a little different. Those of you that are used to the classic version of The Secret Garden, you're probably used to the Tasha Tudor illustrations, which I love. I'm a huge Tasha Tudor fan. But anytime I can find like a different version of these classics, I like to give them a look through and see if I want to add them to my collection. So I was happy to add The Secret Garden to my collection. Okay, I thought I'd also share with you what I am planning to read over the holidays. This week kicks off Thanksgiving, and if you're just now seeing this, I am wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving here in the States. And this kicks off a great time to have some reading, get some reading done over the holiday season. So I thought I'd share with you just what I'm planning to read and just some staples that I recommend all the time. I am going to start reading some James Herriot. I think it would be fun to read some of his works over the holiday season. The second book that I love to reread over the holidays, and something that I recommend, is the book The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is part of the Chronicles of Narnia. It's a wonderful snowy feel, Christmassy feel, and there is some scenes with Father Christmas or Santa Claus. So if you're thinking of reading to a child or recommending something to a young person, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is always fun to read at Christmas time. The other book that I love to reread is, I have a collection of the Bramley Hedge stories, and there is a Christmas story, and I want you to look at this. Is that not beautiful? And Jill Barcombe is the illustrator who writes and illustrates these Bramley Hedge books. And I'm a sucker for anything that's about a little mouse. So I absolutely love the Christmas story here. And then I absolutely love the Christmas story in The Wind in the Willows. So I highly recommend, if you've never read the Christmas story inside of the series of Wind in the Willows stories, that you give that a shot. Anyway, that's what's going on here with the library. I know this is a short collection, but I hope to show you later on in December how I have the library and the letter writing desk all decked out for the holiday season. I think you'll enjoy that. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.